So today I'm going to watch the replay of the USA versus Germany prelims for the men's uh, hockey in the Olympics. It's always like so much to fit into like that phrase and just like in the order, which kind of just like jumbles in my brain. So, so uh, I am going to start that. This is a replay. Um, and just going to put that on in the lounge in Discord. So if you want to join our Discord, you're absolutely welcome to. So I will drop the link. But yeah, I'm going to be playing the game, and then afterwards going to be going to head over to Lori's for her live. So let's just get it started. In the prelims for the men's, women are in the semifinals, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think we're at the quarterfinals yet. I think we're still in the semis. And yeah, so women's USA hockey has been just unstoppable thus far, and then men's both the Canadian teams and the USA teams are doing very well. We saw a pretty severe injury coming out of the men's team. I believe it was Switzerland, and one of the players who is a as soon as I like wanted to, it's like Kevin. My brain just like totally zapped the minute that I was like, "What's his name again?" Kevin. Kevin Fiala. Yeah, and he's Swiss. So he got injured pretty badly. Had to get emergency surgery on his leg. Apparently, there were multiple fractures, from what I understand, and it was a I almost said career-ending. I hope not, and that would be terrible. But it was a season-ending injury that he faced, which is kind of a freak accident. Like if you see it, like so he was got hit by a defenseman, and this defenseman, it was Tom Wilson, if I'm not mistaken, and like he's kind of known for being like a big brute, like brick wall, and people get hurt from him a lot. And so he naturally got like a lot of flack for it. But like if you look at this particular run-in that the two had, it definitely, to me and to a lot of people, does not look like it was Wilson's fault. It was just like a really unfortunate crunch, and I don't think there was like malicious intent behind it. You can even kind of see Wilson trying to like get out of it and like not fall on Fiala's leg that bad, but it just kind of shook out that way. And he had to get taken off the ice on a stretcher, which is always really hard to see, really heartbreaking. And it did end his season. And Fiala does play for the Kings, the LA Kings. So there's a lot of LA Kings fans that are pretty upset, but you know, it's an unfortunate thing that obviously no one wishes would happen, but it did happen, and we all hope that Kevin Fiala is okay. So that's been like that was like the biggest thing, and then I believe it was another game. I didn't watch the game because like it wasn't with U.S. or Canada, but there was a first game ejection for men's hockey for an illegal elbow hit to the head for someone. So I think that they're taking player safety really. They're taking that into consideration a lot during the Olympics, which I like to see. I still, especially with the Fiala hurt that happened, I what the hell is happening? Um, with the Fiala accident, I think that they're extra cautious about players getting hurt, which is why we have these rules. And I think that um, you know, uh, there's still people who are like, you know, people like NHL players shouldn't be playing in the games because they get hurt and they end their season and stuff like that. But I don't think that the from what I understand, like the NHLers like aren't the ones saying that they want to be at the games. So and we were all excited before this started for the NHL players to go to the games. So make up your fucking mind. But anywho, if you want to watch the games with me, feel free to come into Discord. I'm working on a bouquet blanket, which I started last summer ish. And I'm going to be working on this. It's going to be a Nightmare Before Christmas theme. Uh, I'm so over this blanket. I just want it to be done, but you know, we'll get there when we get there, right? So even though I thought that these flavors you could just do them as you went around, you could do them on them individually, but they're a lot less annoying than some of these like bigger flowers I did, which I have a bunch like that I made already. I definitely want to make enough to like give the big flowers to cover everything because that's just too damn much. Um, but I'm gonna put them in with these smaller, kind of like tiny roses. So that hopefully that's gonna help me not lose my fucking mind. What's everyone up to today? Well, this is what it looks like. This is a different flower pattern than these tiny little ones. And I have a couple different shapes. So, with that, this is the yarn Super Saver Stripes in the color Gold Tone, and I think it's perfect for a Nightmare Before Christmas Sally. I'm excited to watch this game. I do know the end result. I don't know the end score, but I know the end result. I'm gonna watch it regardless. Hi, welcome in. I'm watching the men's USA versus Germany game, the hockey game. If you want to join me, you can click on the Discord link, come to Discord and watch the game. It's a replay, it's not live. At the beginning of this live, I talked about some injuries that had happened and some of the things that were going on with the games. So if you haven't been keeping track of that and you're interested in that type of thing, players that have been injured, been an official uh, ejection from the game. I actually don't know if it was just an ejection from the game, or if it was like they couldn't compete anymore with that particular player. couldn't compete anymore because there was an illegal hit to the head with an elbow. I'm sewing them up as I go because I figure that once I'm like I have like approximately 100 million followers that I won't want to touch them anymore, and I'll be ready to like this thing on fire. So hello, welcome into Discord. I didn't watch that game either, the Canada Switzerland game, but that is the game where um, why did I keep forgetting? I just keep forgetting what his last name starts with. I'm like Fiala, 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 Fiala. I'm like Kiala. No, that's not it. That's not it. I don't know when my brain just stops working like that. I haven't seen you in forever. Yeah, I know, right, Lori? I was like, oh, just fit this game in before Lori's. the last game I watched was it women's. Like the score differential was just like nuts. It was just insane. It was like 40 shots on goal versus like five. Maybe it was like 50 shots on goal versus five. It was the most insane. These are the flowers so far. I've attached some of the ones that I made previously, and um, so when it's all like this, some of the bigger flowers will show through, but I don't want it to be. I can't make that many big flowers. It takes too much time. So like, so I was using this to make my blanket, and it's just completely come unraveled, and I just don't know what to do with it. It's like 18 inches. I'm just like, and then like some of it's just coming off from like the middle. Weird. Thank you. These blankets take forever. I'm never doing one again. It's so stupid. This is gonna be the this was the original thought for what we would do for Caliban. So probably like, so sad. I wish I could make flowers and not have to do this like sewing up every time. That would be a lot easier and less effort. pain in the ass, but just as it is. I probably could just I probably could add like more flowers if I wanted to, but I don't. If I find I need more flowers, I'll add them. But right now, I'm just trying to avoid that. Pretty sure that was something, but okay. Uh, so they hooked again, and then it got called. So hey, Lori, somebody lost a stick. Come on. Oh, pushed it out. Mm. I feel like Matthews is kind of like out there on his own um, in the offense right now. It's like, where is everybody? Okay, so we have 7 minutes left in the first. Scoreless game. Uh, Shots on goal is 10 for the US and 3 for Germany. The song makes me want to just like roll out of a window that's very tall in a building. It's very high in a building. So you basically make this like little curly cube right here, and then you curl it into the shape of a flower. And then you sew it together. It's pretty easy, just tedious. You know, and you want to make sure it's sewn together well enough that it won't like fall apart. That's the goal of this. Hey Bridget, welcome in. We're watching Men's USA versus Germany. This is the replay of the game. We're watching it in Discord if you want to hang out. I am working on a bouquet blanket that I started last year. It's going to be Nightmare Before Christmas themed. Oop. So I have, uh, I made the uh, bag itself in this burlap color, which this is a nightmare. And then I have these two yarns. This is Super Saver Stripes in the color Jewel Tone, which looks like Sally in Nightmare Before Christmas. And then I have this, which is a Mainstays yarn from Walmart. I think it's called like Newsprint or something. And it's black, white, and gray for Jack. So I'm sewing each of these. I'm like crocheting them onto it, but I gotta sew them up because it kind of creates a just like a spiral. And then um, so this is what it looks like. So this is what the pattern that I'm following has you do with the flowers. And then I had some bigger flowers that I made when I first started this. Um, and I'm adding those kind of here and there. So I've got different shapes. Rearranging the craft room and trying to clean, which needs lots of work. I wish you the best because I know that that is a task and a half. And oh my god, it's so stressful. This is me trying to get some of my whips taken care of that I haven't done in months because I just need to get them out and do something with them. So it's like the more you pull out, the more you have. Like it's insane taking care of it, kind of clean the craft room. So I understand. especially with the Catholic. Yeah, I understand. Oh, he got it out of there. Good job. I love this one. Sometimes the variegated yarn can kind of eat up the details, but this yarn pattern is, and this flower is pretty. Like as much as I want the bouquet to be like super full, I also don't necessarily have time for that. Oh, that was like it. I don't know. I don't know if that counts. I don't think it does. I think the play was stopped before the goal was made. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't think like it necessarily should have been called. Yeah, no goal. Oh, and in the final 9 seconds, U.S. scores. Okay, and it's the end of the first. I think they started this period a lot later than I was expecting from the recording. So um, it took like an hour for us to get to this point. And I talked a little bit at the beginning. Can't forget that. Okay. So here's where we're at so far. We're coming along, and like once it's all like pushed together and stuff like that, we should have something that looks kind of like this. I feel like that's going to be full enough. This is it's got like a ton of blanket left, but I think it's when you see some of these uh, like, leaves coming through. Okay. I like that there's some bigger flowers in there. There's just like a little focus with some of these smaller ones too, but the smaller ones are good for like filling things out. So just keep going. I need to add more flowers in between. Thank you, Bridget. I need to add more flowers in between. I will do that, at the end. But so we are at the end of the first. US leads by 3 or 1. Sorry, what the? Sorry, I was counting. And I've been seeing people use this yarn a lot to do like they'll take another color and they'll do like a spiral, like a dual color spiral with it. This is the one that people are using because it's just like it looks so freaking cool. Um, so if you're wondering about if you've seen this yarn before, if you've seen that spiral thing, you've probably seen it. Hello. Hey, Lori. You're not muted in Discord, just so you know. No big deal. Just want to let you know. No worries. Hi, welcome in. You're watching the men's U.S. versus Germany prelim game. If you want to come watch with us, we are in Discord. I'll drop the link. I'm not quite sure, but if anyone comes, you can. We are about to start the second period. US just got a penalty. Didn't quite see for what. Sorry, this is like very like I gotta focus like all my attention on it. You can just kind of zone out and just make shit. Okay. Well, Germany's power play is like 16%. 1-6. Oh, I thought that went in. I might like leave this for now because I just feel like I can't be like even remotely interesting, which debatable if I'm ever interesting, but I just need to remember that I'm using 6 millimeter help. Just gonna write like a little note. I'm working away. Come in, help you with how. Thank you. I appreciate that. I like, yeah, I don't know. Like something's been like getting in my head lately, and it's just me. Like no one else has like said anything or anything, but like I just like and I know that like sometimes like me watching something in Discord, like I know that that's probably not very interesting to watch on YouTube and stuff like that. But like I go live and I do a lot of different things, and my views are just like not good. Like they're just really bad, and I don't know if it's because like I just like you know I've had a lot of inconsistencies with my channels in the past, which I've been so much better about that in the past like half a year, if not more. Or like if it's just like I don't really know what it is, and I don't really know how to change it because I have tried like a bunch of different things. So I really do appreciate it, and I just like I don't want to be like I don't want to be like you know like rude or like nasty or say that people like other people don't deserve it. Like that's not ever like my point. It's just like I like I try really hard and like I just can't seem to get like the channel to have like as much momentum as like time I put into it. I guess I don't know, and I don't like doing vertical lives because I just find that they attract like the worst kind of people. I just don't have tolerance for that. Oh, USA scores in the power play. And struggling with same feelings. Yeah, I know, and I will, and I know that like part of it is like the community aspect of it, and like I've been trying to like show up to people's lives more, which is really difficult for me because like time is an illusion. I'm not convinced that time is real at all. So like it's hard for me to like, keep track of everyone's lives, but I'm sure that that's part of it. Like if you don't show up to other people's, they're not going to show up to yours. But yeah, it's frustrating. I know what you mean, Bridget. Oh man, they fumbled that. Ooh, that looks. Oh, I mean, it was a clean hit. It's just, it's yeah. If I had any advice, Bridget, I would give it to you. But clearly, I'm struggling with the same thing. So no idea. And I do think there's part of it is like legitimately how YouTube pushes you out. Like I have videos that like I'll be in there for like 30 minutes before like I see anyone, and I'll be like, and then just like okay, YouTube just didn't even didn't like push out to the video to the people who are subscribed. Yeah, I I know that that's yep. You are a good person. Yes, they're lost, absolutely. And like I think that like I mean I hope that that's not the case. I think that just in general, and I'm just speaking like widely like generalized. It's just like um, people are just like focused on their own stuff, and they don't really think about how other people are doing. Um, oh, it's getting nasty in there. That's got to be interference. But I agree, they're lost. Yeah, anyone is lucky to. Whoa, yeah, he could have pushed that in real bad. Oh, knocked out. Who got slashing? Okay, so like this is just like me folding up the blanket. Fold up the blanket just kind of as is, and so like it's not even like I would say maybe it's like okay, it's like exactly a quarter of the way done, pretty much. So I think that this kind of distribution of flowers should be enough once we add all those in. But maybe it won't. We'll have to do more. I don't know. It takes a long ass time. These flowers are definitely faster than the big ones. The big ones are very time consuming. I gotta figure out how to like store this because this is I just can't just like throw this in the where I put my yarn. And it's quite a bit of yarn to like put into a ball. Maybe it's not. I'm gonna go for it because it's a mess. So it depends. So the little flowers, I feel like are like less than 5 minutes because you chain 14. Basically, you put a couple double crochets in each stitch down, and then you cut it and you sew them together. So the sewing is really what takes because um, you want to make sure that it's sewn up well enough. So the little flowers are about like let's just say 5 minutes, and then the bigger flowers because not only are you crocheting more, but you're also sewing more. Those can be anywhere from like 10-ish to 15-ish. Um, just it all takes so long. It's honestly these blankets are not worth it to me. Like even if you're like it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, not worth it to me. Because the blanket itself doesn't take long at all. Like even if I went a lot bigger with it, it doesn't take long. But every round that you do, you need like 10 more flowers. So it's just so much more work. And then before I wanted to do all the flowers for the wedding even. Oh, it's a really cute idea though. Yeah, it's frustrating when you have an idea like that and like nobody or like not as many people do it as you want. Yeah, I looked at some lilies too, and I was like, too much work, too much. Oh man, big shape as I wanted to. Oh my gosh, I have to see that. That sounds insanely beautiful. It's crazy to me that you think that people don't like you. I think that you're just like a charming, like precious little human. Like I don't understand how people wouldn't like you personally, but like I mean I know there's like some things that like we talked about that certain people are people about, but like as like a person, I don't I just think you're just like so precious, just a darling. This looks like a weird, like fucked up onion. I forgot like exactly how to do a center pole ball, so I'm just like trying to do what I remember. You can only do it with your Turkish spindle. Oh, I don't even know what like I don't even know what a Turkish spindle is. Like I know what like a is that how is it? I'll have to look that up because I don't really know much about spinning anyways. But like I know like what a drop spindle looks like. But even then, I don't even like. I've watched people do it, and like being friends with Crystal, I like watched her do it a lot, but I just like don't understand how it works. Like I see it, I watch it, I don't understand. She tried to get me to like spin before, and I'm like, no, I don't need, I don't need that hobby, and I can already tell that I just don't have the patience for it. Leave that to the professionals. With 4 arms, whoa, that's crazy. Yeah, I imagine it's relaxing if you're good at it. it it looks like it would just bring me a lot of just unhappiness. and there would be so much cat hair in the in what I ended up spinning. But it's beautiful. I love watching it. I love seeing hand spun yarn. I love that it is a craft that other people love. Very cool. Sits on my lap when I spin. Oh, that was probably so cute. Yeah, every time I crochet anything, I'm just like, okay, that's cat hair, cat hair, cat hair. It helps that I crochet a lot of black because Scotty's hair is so dark. Okay, we're getting there. Getting to the end of this. Oh, just such a uh, right there at the end. Right there at the end. I thought the ball was going to be bigger, so I guess it's good that we go like this. Okay, 6 minutes left in the second. U.S. is leading by 2. I've been wanting to do some like painting or drawing recently. I'm not really sure what I want to draw, so I think I gotta get like inspired around that. But I want to do something. Okay, I made a little bun. This is everything that's left out of one um, Super Saver Jumbo. And then I still need to sew on my insignia for my um, uh, uh, thing. So maybe I'll do that now. And I have to sew in the ends here. Sewing, sewing, sewing. I don't mind sewing too much. I really don't. But sometimes when I really want to be done with the project, I'm just like, I'm not doing it. Yarn barf. Yeah. And it was like I had the center pull coming out, but then the whole skein had like deflated, so it was like went from being like 9 inches long to being like 18 inches long. And then I had the center pull coming out, and then a lot of like the like yarn that had wrapped around the outside had just like fallen off. So just I was like, I can't put it back in my closet with like that much just going on. It will be totally unusable. I was originally gonna make like a queen size or something big with this, so I ordered 3 jumbo skeins just so I would have enough. So we didn't know how big we were gonna make it for the cow. And then once I realized how many flowers were gonna need to be made, I was like, we're not making this. And then I just I couldn't do it. But I thought it would be cool. Our original thought, and like maybe we will eventually like do this. Probably not because I never want to make one of these again. But like to make it like movie themed, so like the cow is gonna be like okay, you do rows like 1 through 10 um, this week, and then you do rows 11 through 15 the next week, and so forth. And then you make the flowers, and we have different kinds of flowers. And it was like going to be based on a movie. So if like you did it, you could do like white, and you could do like red stripes throughout it or something like that, and then like red flowers, like however you wanted to do it. So just like based on movies. So that's why I did Nightmare Before Christmas. Um, but yeah, it's just too much work. And even though we did Halloween last year, I felt like it never really felt like a cow. Did like not to me. It was just like we're putting out a lot of patterns, and here it is for you. But I know that a lot of people ended up not like crocheting along, and so like it would be cool to do it again, where it was like an actual like, legitimate like we're doing stuff together, and maybe that would be like less stressful, less work that made us want to lose our cutting lines compared to uh compared to what we did last year, which was a lot. Yeah, it was really fun. It was such a fun challenge to like put ourselves through that type of like creative process. And I think just like with the time frame that really it pushed us to make stuff faster than we would, which you know not to I'll say for at least myself, like I can procrastinate on anything. And so I couldn't procrastinate. And so that made a big difference, like what I was able to produce, which I was proud of. But towards the end, I was just so burnt out. Then I had my surgery at the end in October. And I just like, even though my surgery recovery was totally fine. It was like a great, like easy recovery, thankfully. Um, just taking me out of the world of working constantly on the cow. I couldn't get back into it. By the end, it was just totally like useless. So I think it would be fun to do a cow, but so many people are doing crochet alongs towards that time of year. We want it to be kind of different too. So it is something that I would like to try to do again, but figure out maybe a better way to do it. And then I wanted to do um, I wanted to do something similar where we had like a group of people who like maybe every month we tried to put out a new project or something like that. Like I tried to get that going. Hey Winter, love you too. Um, oh, another score for the U.S. I'm watching hockey in Discord. You can join if you want. I know you're not a big hockey fan, so you don't have to. It's cool. We're just chit chatting. We're talking about Halloween specifically. And I kind of wanted to bring that vibe, but like less compact of a schedule throughout the rest of the year. I thought that would be really fun. I really liked what we did. Um, so like, if anyone ever wanted to do that with me, where they're like, if they wanted to focus on like producing patterns like that, like I would really, really like to do that. That was so wonderful to have that motivation. Like Crystal and I would talk a lot, or um, we would have a lot of collaboration. I would, you know, be able to bounce ideas off. And so every idea I started with, I was able to make so much better and clearer and everything because Crystal was like right there having my back. And like, I hope that I was the same for her. So I would love to do something like that again. I just don't know. I've tried a couple times to like bring it up and I haven't had as much, I haven't had as much, no one has seemed like as I don't know. Some people have seemed interested, but if anyone wants to do that, just let me know. I guess I'll just do that because it was fun. It was fun and challenging and all these things. So I'm sewing it ends for my Star Trek sweater. Christmas in July, make long. Ooh, that sounds fun. I was thinking of either doing halfway to Halloween or like Summerween uh, projects, but um, I have no idea. I my idea well is not running over right now. Maybe if I sat down and gave it some more thought, maybe it would. Someone lost their sick. Yeah, spooky. Yep, all year long. Yeah, it's Halloween all year round for me, so I've been making gifts for the like Fight Club this year. Some people wanted my pattern, but this late into winter, the videos would be a sure flop. So Christmas and yeah. And I will say in my experience, like sometimes when you do things that are not seasonal, like when it's like the right time, um, like sometimes this can really surprise you about their success, and then they already have like a um, like really good performance by the time the season comes around. And also, if you think about like where it's really cold right now, like they're still getting dumped, like snow getting dumped on them. So you never know, but I do think Christmas in July is something that I mean, Christmas is something that people are always going to want stuff for. I can't relate, but like people are always going to want Christmas stuff. Okay. Hey Lydia, welcome in. So much sewing. I'm like always so nervous that it's gonna come undone. So like sew it a million times, but even then I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so I already sewed the neck up and I did make adjustments to how this was sewn. Now, is it my best sewing job ever? Not even like by a mile, but that's okay. Okay. Mhm. I had to double check that I put it on the right side. So this is my com badge. I'm so happy with how it turned out. So I'm going to cool. Thanks, Lydia. Welcome in. So I'm gonna use a stitch marker. I kind of mark where I want my badge to be. So like center would be right there. I think that that's good. I could do it like further out or lower, but I kind of like that piece there. I can't wait to soften this part up. So pretty, pretty rough. Thank you so much, Lydia. It's the pattern from Puck That Yarn Crystal that she did for Halloween. So it's a really nice pattern. I would definitely suggest checking it out if you have any interest in making a sweater for yourself. This is my first sweater. I was really nervous about it, but it's a good pattern. And I love this color. The blue is from Red Heart Super Saver. The color is called Blue Wave, and the yellow is called Saffron from Red Heart Super Saver as well. I'm sorry you're dealing with a headache. Tremendously tremendous. Yeah, I've been really liking how we use Discord, how we can watch movies on it. It was so fun during Halloween to watch all those movies. Watching hockey with you all, that's been fun watching the Olympics. I didn't leave a very long tail when I made this, so I'm gonna have to add another piece of yarn, which just means more, not, just means tying more knots and stuff. But I really want this to be very, very secure. I might even, I have like a needle felting kit, and I might felt it, although I like the stitch detail in it, so on the fence about that a little bit. I was like, so if you saw the video where I like revealed like the finished product or whatever with my with this sweater, I was like, I'm done. Like I had like pushed in the ends of that I hadn't sewn in for my sleeves because I was like, who cares about that? Like, nobody cares. How did I get my hair that color? Well, it definitely needs to be dyed again, but um, so I bleached my hair, um, and I have a lot of practice and experience bleaching my hair, so you get better at it with time. And then I use a color, so I use a hairline called Pravana, which is a professional brand. So you can only get it at certain places. If you don't have a special license, you actually can't buy it. And this is the color. I think it's just called green, but it shows up way more like teal blue. And then when it fades from like a green to a blue, so it fades really cool. Um, because usually when you like when I wash my hair, I don't wash like the ends of my hair. I wash like my scalp the most, and then so like that's gonna strip the color from your scalp and like that area faster. So that's why it's kind of like green to blue, because that color is gonna wash off more as I wash it. But yeah, so I've used that hairline pretty much exclusively for the past several years because it's just really vibrant color that like lasts a long time. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Daniel. Yeah, I wanted it a lot more green, but this color is more like blue based than I expected. But I once I buy a color, unless it's thanks, Daniel. Unless it's really bad, I'm just gonna use the tube up until I, you know, don't don't have it in there, and then I'll change colors. But like the bright yellow that I've had, the split color where I had the orange and the teal. The teal was another brand, but the orange was Savannah. I've been using this brand for a long time. The blue that I had like a year and a half ago, that blue just does not come out. Okay, so we are in the third period. We got 18 minutes left. Score is 3-0. USA leading. Oh, 4-0. I've been dyeing my hair for years. I just like it. It's a fun way to express yourself. Um, uh, it's just fun. I like it. Also, I really don't like my natural hair color, like on myself. Like my hair is really dark brown. It's not like black, so I would like black hair on myself better. But I feel like when I just have my natural hair color, it looks kind of weird. Um, so I just don't think it flatters me as much. So, and it's fun. And plus, like, I dyed my hair when I was working in like corporate America, but it was all like more natural colors and stuff like that, and it wasn't as fun. It's not as exciting. And then like um, when I became disabled, I was like, I can dye my hair again because like when I was 19 to 21, it was like I had like pink, teal, red, pink, like all the colors. Yeah, I don't like my natural hair color on me. I don't think it looks good on me. Like this is my natural hair color. So it's just like a dark brown. It's not black, even though it's dark. It just doesn't like. Sometimes I'll even dye the sides black just so it kind of cools down the color a little bit. But it's fun to dye your hair. It's fun to get some change. Okay, so we get a little bit more yarn to sew in this end. I'm sure I've dyed it blonde. I know I've dyed it blonde. Have you seen it blonde? I don't think I've had it blonde in like years. I might have been like in between dyeing it, so like you might have seen it when I had bleached it. Because I have to bleach it to be light enough to put color on top of it. It was yellow for a long time, like bright neon yellow. Well, I have to bleach it blonde, but usually I don't keep it blonde. I had it orange and stuff like that. Yeah, the yellow is really fun. Yeah, me too. I really want to be done with this color because, or just add more. Like if I could add more yellow to make it more green, that would be cool. Because I would actually like green hair instead of this like teal, which isn't bad. It's just not what I was going for. The only color I never really do is purple because purple is really hard for me to get in my hair. Um, so that's one I don't really do often. I'm very jealous because it would be cool to have purple hair, but it just doesn't work on me. Yeah, it's cool that we have so many people on here on YouTube that we hang out with. That and USA puts it in again. Nice, 5-0. Okay, so now we are officially sewn up with this one. I'm thinking about coloring my hair. I'm tired of this gray hair. I want to go like black or brown hair. Oh, very nice. Yeah, I know a lot of people when they start to go gray, they do that. It is such a process though, because like when you're ready to like eventually just go gray, you have to let all of that grow out, and you should, because the only way you can cover gray hair is with like black or brown is to use permanent hair, which permanent hair color, which will leave like a band, like a line of color called banding. And so when you're ready to let it grow out, you just have these like chunks kind of growing out. So it's tough because I understand like wanting to cover it, but if you're coloring it at home, you're gonna have a really hard time letting it grow out. Okay, so just a little like tilted out just because of how my sweater pulls, but I think it's pretty cool. Do. This is all sewn up. And I'm gonna use my steamer to kind of relax the yarn a little bit, soften it up, soften. So I think that that'll help stretch it out a little bit as well. Thank you very much. Super excited to have it be done. That's really cool. Yeah, I'm tired of sewing right now, and this is like these blankets are so much sewing. So I don't even want to look at that right now. One thing I do want to do eventually is get this ready for Scotty, um, and have him be able to have a little Star Trek uniform as well. This is the one I initially made, but I'm going to make some changes to it because I want to be able to make some sleeves. And how this is built right now, it's just not really suited for sleeves. Well, I made a sleeve and it kind of worked, but trying to write a pattern for it was really, really hard. So Scotty and I can match. He'll be engineering and I'll be sciences. That's what the different colors mean. They have different roles in Starfleet on the ships. Each series kind of changes the colors a little bit, what they mean. But in the original series, red was for engineering and security, and which is why there's a lot more red shirts that die. It's kind of a joke about red shirts because it's usually security that goes down onto um, different places and stuff, and tend to be like the people who die. Um, I totally understand that, Lydia. I was so scared to make a sweater. And especially because like with changes that I have planned, like like I didn't want to take all that time to make a sweater and not have it fit. I really would check out uh, Crystal's. Um, I really would check out Crystal's pattern. It's a three-part video series. She also has a written pattern, but she has all these measurements to really make it fit you. And you can adjust it. Like I made an adjustment on the collar because it was a little too high on me. So I made that, and then I made it on how the sleeves went down, just because I have really skinny arms and a bigger torso. Um, so let me. I would definitely recommend trying this one out. This is a great pattern, Lydia. I think you'll really like it, and it's very versatile in sizes. And she gives you like how to make it fit your body, which is amazing. I'll get um I'll get that link for you. It's she did this pattern for Halloween or Halloween thing, and um and it's really really good. I would say try it. You have nothing to lose. Very simple stitches. You're not doing anything crazy. The the crazy thing that you do is here, which is it's actually just a double crochet and a slip stitch. You just flip your work. Um, so instead of working in the round, chain one, work in the round, you chain one and then turn and then work in the round. So it's not crazy. by any means, but it creates this like insane texture that I love so much. So it's all basic stitches. You can definitely do it. And you don't have to make it Star Trek themed by any means if you don't want to. Like it could just be like a regular sweater. It's a raglan style, meaning it's a pullover top. And how you build it is you build your collar and then um, the yoke of it first. So you make sure that that fits you like you want, and then everything else fits first. So, plus, if any questions come up, you can always ask Crystal, and she'll help you out, or like I can, help you out. How goes the hockey? Good. We're in the third. Is leading 5-0 over Germany. And it's still a preliminary game, but this game is going to put them where they like automatically get into the quarterfinals for their group, like because they all of the teams are competing in groups, and so oh, it's raining. I'm jealous. It's supposed to be raining, but then it kind of didn't happen. I guess. But I finished sewing in the ends of this sweater. I still need to like keep misting on it to kind of relax it a little bit. I love seeing once you um, Germany just scored, not going to have a shutout. And then I was working on this bouquet blanket that I started a while ago. Didn't finish. So here are some of the flowers attached. It takes a long time without sewing as you go around. But blanket's about this big, and then you fold it up from the center, and you hold it like a bouquet of flowers like this. And so each flower has to be individually made, and it just takes a while. So I have some that I already made. Uh, so, so I have some flowers that I already made, and then some I'm making with another pattern that are smaller, like little circular spirally roses. So But I had to take a break from this. It's too much sewing at one time. I don't mind sewing usually, but with these flowers, because they're so um, you really want them to kind of show from any angle, so you're sewing really everything to just kind of like down to one point. You really want to make sure that these flowers don't unravel. So that's a little annoying. These are like the leaves. This is gonna be a nightmare before Christmas theme. So mm, yeah, but I'm ready to get up, move around. I should have done. I should be doing that during all the intermissions, but I just gotta figure it out. So I believe this is the final or one of the final preliminary games for the men's team. Women are already in the semifinals or maybe even the quarterfinals at this point. I don't really understand like the scene, like how they get certain guaranteed spots and stuff like that. They're explaining it sometimes, or they just mention it, and I don't really understand how it works. Yeah. I mean, the men's Canada team is dominating pretty heavily, and the U.S. is doing great as well. But I think uh, compared to each other, it seems like the Canada team has a lot more um, people pulling the team together quite a bit more. So I don't think U.S. and Canada have played yet. I don't think they're going to play until the like later on in the series, and won't be playing in the preliminary games. But for the women's teams, the USA is just dominating in a way that just is insane to watch. So that's been really fun to watch as well. That guy straight up just jumped like Mario. He was just like boing. So a little less than 7 minutes left of the game. Scores 5-1 US. Hi, Scotty. Hi, Angel. Hi, Angel. So tomorrow, 10:40 a.m. Eastern Time, semifinals USA versus Sweden for the women's. Um, I'm not going to be up, probably. I hope not, at least. So, oh my goodness, you're so cute. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. It would have been an opportunity. Goalie dropped a stick. 5 minutes left. Yeah, if you're not watching the women's hockey, like I really feel like some premium fucking hockey to watch. They're just laying it down, which is so fun to watch. Let's see a penalty for US. Yeah, for holding. Unsportsmanlike conduct is what they're calling it. It's holding, but like yeah, it's interesting to see what they're actually calling things. 3.5 minutes left. Let's see, I think 30 seconds left on this power kill. Yeah, I know that I'm not like crocheting as much because like after all that's like all the projects I want to work on, like I have to go and get them, and I just don't want to sew anymore on the on this guy. Not right now. I need a break. Daddy needs a break. Two minutes left. Oh, I thought that went in. It was so close. Maybe I don't know. From this point of view, I lost. $40 left. Everyone looks kind of gassed. They're like, I don't have a lot of energy. We're just gonna keep the score where it is. This guy's just sitting down on the ice, like. Well, that's the particular. U.S. just started walking on the ice, like putting players on the ice legitimately. Like they had 2 seconds up. They're like, it's not going to happen. They just walked out. Okay, 5-1 is the final score. USA wins. So in their respective groups, so there's three men's groups, A, B, and C. And so Canada is leading their group, and Latvia is leading their group, and then the USA is leading their group. So I think they'll all have automatic buy-ins to get to the quarterfinals. So even if they lose on in the semifinal, they will be able to move to the quarterfinal, as far as I understand things, which is not very well. So don't really trust me. So again, stuff that I mentioned at the beginning. Um, Hold on one second. I gotta stop all this noise that's going on in my brain. Um, Kevin Fiala, who is on Team Switzerland, and played a pretty big role in Team Switzerland. He ended up getting hurt really badly in the Canada Swiss game, and was like taken out on a stretcher. Had to go into emergency surgery for his knee, or like leg. Apparently, he had multiple fractures in his leg. And Kevin Fiala plays for the LA Kings, and they're saying that Kevin Fiala is going to be out for the rest of the season. So, pretty big hit for the LA Kings, as well as the Swiss team at the Olympics. Um, and so that's what's going on there. And then also, I forget exactly what team it was, but we saw the first either ejection from the game or like you're out of the Olympics period for an illegal hit to the head. Someone, I think it might have been like France or Italy or something like that, where a player hit another player with his elbow in the face, which is a big no-no, and normally would be bad in the NHL, but in the the Olympics, where they're extra concerned about players' safety, they are they booted him at least from the game, maybe from the rest of the Olympics. So that was a pretty big note to have. So to have like, and it was all, I think it was all yesterday that this happened. So like you had a player get severely injured and you had someone get ejected. So um, that's what's going on at the Olympics that I know about. No news like that in the women's game. The women have uh, even less like physical like checks that are allowed. Than the men, which I think is interesting. I don't know if the PWHL versus the NHL is the same, but it's interesting to see different roles against the leagues and the competitions. Yep, that's me catching you up on hockey. Uh, but let's see. So, what did they say was the game tomorrow that I was like, I'm not going to be up for? I totally forgot. I think it was the women's semifinal, Sweden versus USA. Yes, that's what's going on. And then also Canada, women's Canada versus Switzerland will be playing in the semifinal tomorrow as well, right after that game. So, and then on the 19th, women's bronze final, women's gold final be happening that day as well. Men's yeah, then it's all qualifier playoffs for men. So it's so weird how they're doing different formats, but I know they have a different number of teams. So I think that must be part of it too, but I do not know. But anyways, I'm gonna head out for the evening, and thank you all for hanging out with me and joining me tonight. I'm gonna be just kind of probably just like cleaning up these finished projects and stuff like that, and kind of getting everything ready so that I can start working on some stuff or some older stuff that I have had as a whip for a while. But thanks for hanging out. It's been cool. It's been real. And I will talk to you later.